So we'll start at tier 4 and get them out of the way.
So at first, real quick, when I saw this, I barely read like where the info came from. I immediately thought it was like a Madden tier thing. Like, oh, these are Madden ratings. And I was like, oh, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, wait a minute. Where's this data coming from? And then I looked and I was like, what? No. Yeah. This is insane to me. So yeah, let's run through it.
So the Athletic did a tier list. They had 50 total NFL insiders with 8 general managers, 10 executive, 10 coaches, and 15 coordinators. And they ranked all of the quarterbacks in the league. And they, put them in order and then gave them tiers. Yeah. So at tier 4, Bert, we got Gardner Minshew, my beloved Gardner Minshew Mania, number 30. Desmond Ridder at 29. Sam Howell at 28. Baker Mayfield, 27. Jordan Love, 26. Kenny Pickett, 25. And Brock Purdy. The guy, I mean, I'm shocked.
That surprised me, too, that to have him in tier 4. Now, look, I get it. I understand.
You have to prove yourself.
The sample size hasn't that, but I mean, we're talking about someone that's below the likes of, a Justin Fields, a Geno Smith, and nothing against Geno because he turned it around last year. But I don't know, man. Dare I say Deshaun Watson, but we'll get to him too.
Yeah. It's I guess so. I think it is simply because he's unproven. He got a hot streak, and what he did, there wasn't enough information for me. So I do understand why they would have him in that bottom, I guess the top of the bottom, because the guys above him. But I mean, there's some arguments to be made about some of the guys above him too, in terms of if you want to say tier 4, the unproven, or proved enough that they're not going to be any higher. So at the tier 3, you have Mac Jones at the bottom of that at 23. Ryan Tannehill. Now, here's where the Brock Purdy stuff gets interesting to me.
Yeah.
Justin Fields and Geno Smith and Daniel Jones, 21, 20, and 19. You're not going to tell me that Brock Purdy isn't as good, if not better, than all 3 of those guys.
No, I'll tell you that he's not better than Daniel Jones.
Okay, it's not okay. Got you. Hold up, bro. You're right. My bad, dog. My bad. Hold up.
My fandom won't let me allow it. Yeah. I mean, see. I mean, we'll see this year, right? But I will. It's the Justin Fields thing that's getting me, because you can make an argument that Geno was excellent last year. He was. So maybe it is just a prove yourself thing. But dare I do it? I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't played a healthy season in how long now?
Yeah, so almost 2 years.
That we're going to sit 18. Here and say that he shouldn't be in the 4th tier.
Yeah, or at least lower, because the issue isn't where Jimmy's rated; it's where Brock is rated. So Jimmy should be in tier 3, and I would say maybe higher in tier 3, because he's right in the middle at 18, and above him is Tua, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, and Kyler Murray. I'll tell you, I'll take Jimmy Garoppolo over almost everybody on that list based on what I've seen in these recent years, except maybe Kyler Murray.
Man, they also have 11 quarterbacks in the 3rd tier, and there's 7 in 4 and 2. And then, of course, the top 5. I mean, if you really want, spread that shit out. Put more people in the bottom tier.
Yeah, but okay, so think about that, right? So in the bottom tier, who belongs there, right? Geno Smith only really gave us one really good year.
Yeah.
And that was last year.
I
would be okay with putting him at the top of bottom 4 of tier 4. Justin Fields broke the rushing record. I guess that's cool, but he's not a running back. He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Put him in the tier 4. And now this year, he could skyrocket to tier 2. Maybe. Who knows? No. I don't know. He has the talent. I get the potential. We talked about it when I was in studio with you guys in terms of potential and all those other things. So,
there's one person in tier 2 that I know we can swap out for at least 5 or 6 of the quarterbacks in tier 3.
So let's get to it. You have Kyler Murray at 13 in tier 3. So at the bottom of tier 2, you have Kirk Cousins. And here we go, Bert. Number 11. Just outside looking in, OLI of the top 10. Massage rapist Deshaun Watson. What? What?
I couldn't believe it when I saw this. What? And I don't. So if we want to go off sample size, a man that has barely played football in the past 2 years is ahead of Brock Purdy, and the football he did give us last year wasn't noteworthy. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
A sandwich literally between Matthew Stafford, who has a Super Bowl ring, and Kirk Cousins, the Coles drip man himself.
Yeah.
It's honestly a head scratcher. I don't understand it.
This is only based on skill set and past performance, and this is a potentials rating, right? The best, I mean, before his 1.5 year gap, he was an MVP candidate. I get it, but time doesn't just pause for people. And you don't. I ring rust. I'm okay with ring rust, and I'm okay with Deshaun Watson being back into the top 10 after this season once he's shown me. But the last 6 games he played were awful.
Yeah,
he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. And again, I get that he took a 1.5 years off. It's going to take more than 6 weeks to get into NFL game shape. I'm not going to sit there and pretend. I'm not even going to say he lost a step. I'm going to say he shouldn't be the number 11 quarterback ranked in the league right now. Period. I have no problem halfway through the season. He starts lighting it up. You skyrocket him back up there. But to preemptively put him in the top 11 based on what you saw a 1.5 years ago is ludicrous.
He's 5 removed from Jalen Hurts.
That's yes. So you mean to tell me after the top 5 quarterback, or after the 5 best quarterbacks after Jalen Hurts, Deshaun Watson's one of them? I'll tell you one thing. Right after, based on what I saw in the last couple of years, I'll take Kirk Cousins over him. I'll take Jared Goff. What Jared Goff did the last half of his last season. You want to talk about polar opposites? We talked about Justin Fields, and this is why it's because of the names, right? It's because it's Deshaun Watson. Kirk Cousins is below him because he's Kirk Cousins, or because it's Jared Goff. Earlier this week, I put a post on socials. Davis Mills from the Houston Texans threw for more yards, had a higher completion percentage, a higher QBR than Justin Fields. What's Justin Fields' number one excuse? Oh, he didn't have help. Well, you're going to sit there and tell me Davis Mills had help?
Yeah.
Down there in Houston? They played the same amount of games. By all metrics, Davis Mills is a better quarterback than Justin Fields, but you'll not get one person to say that. And Davis Mills ain't even on his list because C.J. Stroud got drafted because the Texans were so bad, the worst team in the league. And yet the team who was worse in the worst division had a quarterback who put up better stats than Justin Fields. But nobody will sit there and tell you Davis Mills is a good quarterback, but they'll give all the benefit in the world to Justin Fields because he can run. Yeah. Same thing with Deshaun Watson. They'll give him all the benefit in the world because they remember when he was great last. But they won't give any credit. They'll do anything in their power to discredit Jared Goff, to discredit Kirk Cousins, and that's why they're lower than him on this list. To put Deshaun Watson in the top, I'd be fine if he was in the tier 3.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
low
Jimmy
in tier
Garoppolo
3.
game. Low. So if Tua and Jimmy are in the middle at 17 and 18, anything below them I would be okay with. In there, you could even put Deshaun at 17. I'll buy Deshaun better than Jimmy and Tua, whatever. But he's not going to be higher than Derek Carr, Kyler Murray, or Jared Goff.
No,
not at all. I actually am shocked that Russell Wilson is number 16.
I was just about to say the same thing. I would have thought his stock would have been at least lower than Ryan Tannehill, right?
Also, and I think this is what happened, right? Before that, Russell Wilson would probably be somewhere in the top of tier 2.
Yeah.
You can't drop him from the top of tier 2 whole tiers, right? Like they have to put him somewhere in tier 3. And the Broncos, they had the highest number of injury reserve players last year. So he didn't have much help last year. His number 1 running back, Javonte Williams, was out. So there was a lot going on there. So tier 2, we have Kirk Cousins, Deshaun Watson, Matthew Stafford at number 10. Okay. Dak Prescott, number 9, Trevor Lawrence, 8, Lamar, Jalen Hurts, number 6. Excuse me, Bert. Wasn't Jalen Hurts just in the Super Bowl?
He was.
God. And then tier 1, the guy they have above Justin Fields. I think they messed up. Maybe they put the wrong Justin in the top 5 in tier 1. They got Justin Herbert. Has he ever won a playoff game?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think, yeah.
I mean, Justin Herbert in the top 5. I get the talent, but dog, you got to do some winning up in here. I just that's unbelievable. Then you
I
have
think I think look, he should be 6 or 8, I'll say, and bump Lamar up to 6. But man, to not have Jalen Hurts in the top 5 is insane. Now that their top 3, honestly, their top 4 look fine to me. I would swap here, run through it, then we can say what we'd
so
swap.
they have Aaron Rodgers at number 4. They have Josh Allen at number 3, Joe Burrow number 2, and Patrick Mahomes number 1. I will tell you first, unbiasedly, I am okay with that.
Yeah.
And here's why. Joe Burrow has beaten Josh Allen in his own house. He has beaten Patrick Mahomes in his own house. The only reason Joe Burrow ain't number 1 on this list is because he doesn't have a Super Bowl yet.
Mm-hmm.
But if he would have won that Super Bowl, yes, he would have been number 1 to me. Josh Allen, even though I think he's the most talented quarterback in the league, I think he has a stronger arm than Patrick Mahomes, and I think he's just as smart as Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He may not be as cool as Joe Burrow, but he can stiff arm Aaron Donald and jump over Anthony Barr. We've seen him do it. There's nobody like the things that the best quarterbacks in the league can do. Josh Allen can also do, but none of them can do what Josh Allen can do. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
Like he does everything that all the other quarterbacks can do put together while they can do singularly. So the problem is he just doesn't. He needs to win. He needs to get over that hump. He needs to get to a Super Bowl first.
Yeah.
And then he needs to at least be close to winning one, or at least play excellent in a Super Bowl loss, or preferably win one. But until he can get past Joe Burrow, until he can get, and he's the only quarterback in the league that has beaten Patrick Mahomes twice in Arrowhead. The problem is he's not doing it when it counts, and that's in the playoffs. He's only doing it in the regular season. He's capable of doing it. I don't know what the hell is going on in the playoffs where they just completely shit the bed for me.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to tell me that the Bills and Josh Allen aren't capable. But until he does those things, yes, it's okay to admit that Josh Allen isn't the best quarterback in the league, Bills fans. I get that we love him. He's the best quarterback we've ever had. Great. Sorry, Jim Kelly. But it's Josh Allen needs to win. You have to win in this league. And I get that wins are a team thing, but this is how we rank quarterbacks. And Joe Burrow came into your house, kicked your ass, took your stuff, and went to the Super Bowl in 2 years.
Yeah.
What the hell? Zach Thomas had one bad season without Joe Burrow. Luckily, he was able to draft Jamar Chase. Boom. Guess what happened? They're in the Super Bowl a year later. That's what coaching does. That's what good coaching does. Take notes, Sean McDermott. Josh Allen, that's what greatness does in the playoffs. They elevate. And listen, Josh Allen is responsible for 80, 90% of that team's success. It's unfair for me to blame him. But at the end of the day, this team needs to figure out a way to let Josh Allen chill during the regular season, because he's them 10+ wins every year we're getting are largely because of him and not coaching. And then by the time the playoffs come around, he's exhausted. You can't win the same way. And so, yeah, I'm okay with the top 3 and the top. I agree with you. Justin Herbert needs to be. I don't care if you put him 6, 7, or 8, but Jalen Hurts needs to take that number 5 spot.
See, I would almost put Jalen Hurts. I think Aaron Rodgers should get the number 5, and I'd put Jalen Hurts above him. This is what's getting me about the list. Like, are we doing this off of accolades or potential or both? And I get Aaron Rodgers has been there, has won a Super Bowl, has won multiple MVPs, but I mean, the performance Jalen Hurts had last year was incredible. And if we're going to talk about, for me, Joe Burrow being ahead of Josh Allen because he's got that winning factor, and by winning factor, that means winning the games that matter and then going to a Super Bowl and losing, then I would almost think that Jalen Hurts deserves to be above Aaron Rodgers at this point. He should. So 5 would be A-Rod for me, then Jalen Hurts, and then I honestly would put Josh Allen above Joe Burrow, and then of course Patrick Mahomes. But I mean, honestly, mix and match any of the top 5. Any of the top 1 through 4, or 5 through 2, mix and match them. You can't do anything about Mahomes until he starts losing Super Bowls. Once he does that, then you can shuffle him around. But